Blastapopoulos is the newest boss to BTD6, and I'm going to show you how to beat each tier on Elite difficulty. To start, you can play rounds 1 through 39 like any other boss. Just make as much money as you can and you'll be set for this fight. For the first tier, we have a few options. You can go with the tried and true 205 Elite Defender. This is a solid choice for several other bosses like Vortex and Lich and is alright here. The problem with Blast is that he places rocks around him with every skull, and these block our sniper's line of sight, lowering his DPS, so it'll take a while for him to pop the boss. During this fight though, we'll place down a dart monkey as close to Blast as possible and as far away as we can. These dart monkeys will tank 2 of the 3 meteors that Blast shoots every skull, making the fight much easier. If you didn't know, Blast meteors target the closest, farthest, and most expensive monkeys you have, and these meteors make affected monkeys much worse. We can't really control the most expensive monkey at this point, but if we distract 2 of the 3 meteors, we'll do significantly better. Another option we have is a tack zone plus embrittlement, as we'll be placing the tack shooter close enough to the track that the rocks won't get in his way. The problem here is that we need a map like Sulphur Springs where Blast will stay close enough to the tack shooter long enough to take him out. And the third is place a ton of overdrives and embrittlement and a super brittle. This takes up the most space of the 3 but will pop Blast the fastest. These 2 ice monkeys will make Blast take tons of extra damage from every projectile, and there are a ton of these being shot every second. It gets all the benefits of being inside the rocks, some of the overdrives won't get hit by the meteors, and it's easy to set up. Definitely the preferred method as of right now. For the second tier, we have a couple options as well. The first is getting a Mad, preferably buffed by an Alchemist in Overclock. This will do a ton of damage, just make sure that you place the Mad kind of close to the track so that his projectiles won't burn up before hitting the boss. With this, you'll pop Blast pretty quick, but you'll need some extra defenses for round 63, so get down a 402 boomerang or 2 at the end of the track to stop anything from leaking. The second option we have is a 015 Avatar of Wrath buffed by 5 Popoulos. This thing is a monster at taking out boss Bloons, but the meteor's range debuff makes it hard for him to always be able to reach Blast. If he can see a lot of the track, then you'll be fine, but if it's hard to get all 5 Popoulos buffs on him, or there isn't a good spot, you're better off getting a Mad. For the third tier, it's time to get a Paragon. This is just like every other boss in that the Glaive Dominus is likely the way to go unless you're on a map that is great for the Apex Plasma Master. I really wanted the Dartagon to crush the third tier with its balls rattling around the rocks Blast placed down, but the Glaive Dominus is the safer and more reliable choice. What is different than usual is the fourth tier fight. Here we'll get another Paragon, but unlike other bosses, we'll shy away from the Ninjagon and Master Builder as Blastapopoulos counters both of them. Blast burns off the Ascended Shadow Sticky Bomb before it explodes, and the Meteor's lava pools freeze the Master Builder's abilities, making it so you can't constantly replace the sentries. You can choose any other Paragon, just make sure they're close enough to the track that their projectiles won't burn up before hitting Blast. Additionally, one thing I like to do for this fight is pick up a 250 Carpet of Spikes at the back of the track in case I get super unlucky. You see, every time Blast Heat Bar maxes out, he stuns the entire screen for 5 seconds. This normally isn't an issue, but if this happens right as a DDT spawns, it might make it all the way through the map. But if we have a bunch of spikes on the track, then this unlikely scenario won't happen. Plus, we'll have plenty of money to spare by this point anyway. And for the 5th tier, I typically pick up a Goliath Doom Ship and set it to Wing Monkey. This will keep him right above Blast so that all of his projectiles hit the boss, but if you want to go with a different Paragon, you should still be fine. Just make sure this new one is as strong as possible and avoid the Master Builder and Ninjagon just like last tier. But with 3 Paragons and some support monkeys like a Super Brittle and Cripple Moab, you should easily be able to take down Elite Blastapopoulos.